Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. And be sure, smash that like button. Day 2, fall camp for LSU. Tigers were back on the practice field Friday morning. Media only got about 15 minutes. A full disclosure, I was not there today, so everything I have is secondhand today. But I do have some reaction to sort of what they did and why I think it's significant. Tigers started inside, made their way outside. The media got, again, about 15 minutes. And most of what the media was able to see was special teams. Punt coverage, punt return. And I think while that appears boring on its face, that is really significant for this LSU team. One of the most consistent complaints, and justified complaints, by the way, about Brian Kelly's tenure has been how atrocious LSU's been at special teams. The special teams efficiency rate rankings have been consistently over 2 years in the bottom third of college football. It's really hard to stomach because LSU has consistently over the past quarter century had really good specialists, place kickers, punters, returners. To be so bad there is just an outlier and unacceptable. And in part because you had Greg McMahon, who was this great special teams coach, and he wasn't retained, and then they tried to bubblegum and duct tape the whole thing together the past couple of years, and they're continuing to do that, but is the personnel better? I think that's going to be interesting to see. And remember, really the one thing that you had going for you among your specialists was Jay Bramblett. I mean, Jay Bramblett transferred from Notre Dame, came with Brian Kelly, and was your starting punter the last 2 years, and was a very consistent piece of, maybe the only consistent piece, of your special teams units the past couple of years. Well, Jay Bramblett's gone, and as we know, Brian Kelly, after the spring game, said point blank that Peyton Todd has to be more consistent. And he backed that up with his actions because LSU went out and signed Blake Oxendorf, who was at Louisiana Tech last year, and he was first team all-conference at Louisiana Tech, averaged 45 yards a punt. So seeing those two guys start to battle that out here, I think, is interesting, in part because a year ago, special teams, I don't want to say it didn't matter, but it mattered less in particular for the LSU offense because the LSU offense was so good that 5 or 10 yards of field position didn't matter. You led the country in total and scoring offense. So you could look at losing 5 or 10 yards of field position, sometimes more, and it just, you were able to overcome it. It's just, I think, going to be more challenging this year because I don't think you're going to have the number one offense in college football. There were 4 players on Thursday who were working returning punts, and it was those same 4 returning punts on Friday. And they are Zavion Thomas, Aaron Anderson, Kyle Parker, and Jelani Watkins. So a few thoughts here. You might remember a couple of days ago, it was actually yesterday, It was yesterday that the Horning Award put out its watch list. And if you're not familiar, the Horning Award, Odell Beckham won this thing back in the first year of the award in 2013. It goes to the most versatile player in college football, named after Paul Horning. And they put out their list of 50 some odd players. And there was not a single LSU Tiger on the list. And I'm not here to yell and scream and rant about watch lists because it's more significant what happens at the end of the season than now in the end of July or the beginning of August. Travis Hunter won the award last year, by the way. Great defensive player, obviously, and it played receiver and then also returned kicks. It was awesome. It might win it again this year. But not having Zavion Thomas on the list is a gross oversight. Hey, it's Matt. We're going to get back to the show here in just a second, but football season's upon us. I love to sports bet. And here on AFR LSU, we're fired up this football season to be partnered with BetUS. So if you're looking for a new book this football season, or you should just use a new book this football season, make sure you check out BetUS. I want to show you how easy the site and the app are to use. Go to BetUS. You'll see you can hit the sportsbook option right there at the top left. How easy is this? Let's say you want to bet on the Tigers. You click football, easy drop down right there. If you want to go to the college games, you'll scroll. Here's all your NFL, all the prop bets that are available for you. You can get to college right here. There's the college football championship. Let's look at the SEC, what the SEC odds may be. There's ACC, the American Athletic, Big 10, Big 12. You'll see all the odds. Tigers are plus 950 to win the SEC. I don't like that. I mean, pretty good odds right there if you want to throw a little change on Brian Kelly's squad here in year 3 to do it big, and you can do it at BetUS. By the way, at BetUS, they got a 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,000. And something I love is that they also accept crypto. It's not just Bitcoin. They also have Ethereum and Litecoin. So check it out. If you know a lot about crypto, or if you're new to crypto, make sure you check out the crypto options as well, which is kind of a preferred way to do it. So check it out there at BetUS. Great partner of ours here on AFR LSU all football season long. 125% sign-up bonuses and the fastest payout in the industry right there a click away. It's BetUS. Now, back to the show. I want to remind you, a few weeks back when we were in Dallas for SEC Football Media Days, LSU had 3 first-team preseason all-conference players. Harold Perkins, Will Campbell, and Zavion Thomas as a all-purpose player. Let me say that again. Zavion Thomas was first-team All-SEC preseason as an all-purpose player. 2 years ago, as a freshman at Mississippi State, remember, Zavion Thomas is from New Orleans, went to Mississippi State, spent the last 2 years there. Now he's at LSU. Zavion Thomas, as a freshman at Mississippi State, was a freshman All-America punt returner. He averaged 13 and a half yards per punt return as a true freshman at Mississippi State, which was 5th in the country. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of reason to be excited about Zavion Thomas, because as we talked last year, go in the Wayback Machine with me. Brian Kelly's first year, Malik Neighbors was the guy that was going to be the new punt returner, and he was just going to be the next in a long line. I actually sort of infamously did a video here on the show where I was congratulating Malik Neighbors before the season on being the next of the great line of returners from Eddie Kennison and Kevin Falk and Dominic Davis and on through the list of Skylar Green and Chad Jones and Trendon Holiday and you, Patrick Peterson, Tyron, you all know the list. Odell. And Malik was just going to be next because LSU's always had the really fast athletic guy who could make you miss and be a great returner. And Malik muffed 2 punts against Florida State, and then they put Greg Clayton back there just to be able to catch the ball. And they just punted, for lack of a better phrase, on the punt return game. And then last year, they brought in Aaron Anderson from Alabama, and he was going to be the guy. And Anderson muffed 1. They lost 3 yards. They didn't put him back there the rest of the year. It was Greg Clayton. Hey, just go fair, catch the ball, and make sure you don't screw it up for the offense. Y'all, when I say this out loud, I was doing this research today, and I almost had to like double, triple, quadruple check myself just to make sure that this was right. Do you know how many punts LSU returned last year? Like in the entire season. 13 games. How many times LSU returned a punt? Not fair catch, not let it bounce. How many times an LSU player caught a punt and returned it in 13 games? Anybody? Paulie, do you want to take a guess? Either you want to take a guess?
2.
It's not 2. Paulie?
I'll say 35.
Muse was closer. 7. In 13 games, there were 7 punt returns. Greg Clayton did it 4 times. Javen Nicholas did it twice, which had to just be mop-up time. And then Aaron Anderson had the one that he muffed. That's it. The total number of punt returns for an entire season was 7. Like, basically their job was, hey, don't screw it up for the offense. Now you actually have an opportunity to make something, I think, out of your return game, because Zavion Thomas isn't just a fast, talented, athletic guy. He's actually been a returner in your conference for 2 years. So you've got a guy that's done this job. Aaron Anderson's back there as well. Kyle Parker going into his second season. And then Jelani Watkins feels like a bit of a wild card. He's a true freshman. He's wearing number 17. He's small-ish, but legit top-end speed that a lot of people are excited about with Jelani Watkins. So I don't know how it's going to go with the returners. I would be surprised if it's not Zavion Thomas because he's done that before. And anything you can get positively out of the return game this year is better than what you got a year ago. So that was the focus of what the media got to see on Friday out at LSU. Also of note, Javen Toviano, who was at practice on Thursday, but he was dressed, just didn't participate. Brian Kelly said that he's been reinstated by the university, so he's back on the team. Toviano was going through defensive back drills on Friday in the limited viewing that media got. So onward they go with trying to rebuild that secondary with a full deck. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.